Hello everyone, my name is Mufti Muhammad Hamzah. Before I explain the material, I predict in your mind will may raise some question about the situation right now. For example, why the earth now become hotter? And then what is greenhouse effect? It's like house with green area inside. And then why we have to reforestation? And what the problem that occur in the earth today? The last, why the ice in the both pole are melting. So those questions can answer by two words. This is about global warming. So today material we're gonna talk about global warming, the effect and the prevention of that. So what is the global warming itself? The global warming is usually rapid increase in the Earth's average surface temperature over the past century. So the key term is increase the temperature. As you can see here in the graph, the temperature anomaly is increased year by year is effect to the average temperature in the world is increased. So based on the pattern in the graph, we can predict if there is no prevention to reduce the global warming effect, the temperature of the earth in the next few years will hotter than the situation of now. But who the most cause the problem? So actually, global warming is caused by human activity, such as the first is burning of fossil fuel, such as the factory, and then the second is producing methane from the farm. So those two examples will produce more greenhouse gases. Okay, but what is greenhouse gases? The greenhouse gases is the gases to that effect to the greenhouse effect. So after that, what is greenhouse effect itself? The greenhouse effect is a natural process that warms the Earth's surface. When the sun's energy reaches the Earth's atmosphere, some of it is reflected back to the space and the rest is absorbed and radiated by greenhouse gases. The absorbed energy warms the atmosphere and the surface of the Earth. This process maintains the Earth temperature from sustainable life. Okay, which gases cause the greenhouse effect? Actually, there are some gases, for example, water vapor, carbon dioxide, nitrous oxide, methane, and ozone. Okay, let's see the illustration of the process of greenhouse effect. First, solar radiation reached the Earth's atmosphere. Some of this reflected back to the space. After that, the second is the rest of the sun energy is absorbed by the land and the ocean hitting the Earth. After that, some of the energy is reflected again or radiated from the Earth toward to the space, but some of this heat transferred by greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, keeping the Earth warm enough to sustainable life. Step 5. Human activities such as burning fossil fuels, agriculture, and land clearing are increase the amount of greenhouse gases released to the atmosphere. After that, this is trapping extra heat and causing the earth temperature to rise. So after we after this, we can see the effect of global warming itself. I mentioned there are six effects of global warming, but to be honest, there is a lot of effect global warming. So the first is melting the ice. In the fact, the ice from the North Pole and the South Pole is melting year by year. What are the effect? The effect is to increase the sea level and the second point, the increased sea level can affect also to the decreasing of the land of human activity. After that, number three, increase the temperature of the water vapor. As I mentioned before, the water vapor is the example of the greenhouse gases. So by increase the water vapor, so it will increase the effect of global warming, especially in the term of greenhouse effect. Because the greenhouse effect is increased, so it will raise the high temperature or increase the temperature of the world. And then the third and the fourth is about the changing the weather. For most places, global warming will result in more frequent hot days than the cool days, with the greatest warming occurring over the land. Storms, floods, drought will generally become more severe as rain patterns change. Hurricanes may increase in intensity due to warmer ocean surface temperature. And then, fifth is about impacting ecosystem. Why impact the ecosystem? Because warmer temperatures have already shifted the growing season in many parts of the earth. And then warmer situation or temperature, uh, some species, some species is hard to adapt in the situation. So if the last is impacting the people, this is most impacting in the global warming is impacting to the people, but most of people still not care about the impact of global warming itself. After that, the last is about global warming prevention. So there is six global warming prevention that I mentioned in this presentation. First is about renewable energies. The first way to prevent the climate change is to move away from fossil fuels. What are the alternatives? The alternative can be like solar, wind, biomass, and geothermal. The second is energy and water efficiency. And the third is about sustainable transportation. Promoting public transportation will reduce the producing of carbon dioxide to the earth. And then fourth is sustainable infrastructure. And then five is sustainable agriculture and forest management. So we have to reforestation, and then we have to reduce the use of chemical component in the agriculture. And then for the last is six, reversible consumption and recycling. Okay, that's all from the material today. Here are the references. Thank you for watching.